Hey, what's up everybody? Coming at you with a new video, completely different story than usual wrestling figure and action figure videos. I normally do not do these, but for those of you that don't know, I'm a big wrestling fan, WWE fan specifically, and I just got done watching the Clash in Italy PLE. And again, I never do videos like this. I feel like the online discourse and the YouTube discourse around what sucks and everything is way beyond anything I can contribute in a lot of ways. But I wanted to chime in on this one because it falls sort of in line with something that's been bothering me since WrestleMania at least. And that is the fact that WWE has seemingly, in my opinion, has lost the ability to tell good stories anymore in the ring and even outside building up to the matches. And I say this, I want to preface this by saying that I started watching WWE, WWF in 1984. So I think I skew on the older side of a lot of fans that do this kind of videos. And I've lived through the golden era, and my peak fandom was the Attitude Era. Under no circumstances do I one of those that wants to go back to these certain things. I want wrestling to move forward. I don't clamor for the Attitude Era days other than big matches on regular TV. So I'm not clamoring for a return to the Attitude Era. There's a lot of stuff that hasn't aged well, and just a lot of stuff that people look back with rose-colored glasses, and it wasn't all great. There was some garbage there too. But in terms of larger-than-life characters, it was the king of that time. And so I wanted to give my thoughts on Backlash. The first I want to talk about is Cody Rhodes Gunther. Now, I'm a huge Cody Rhodes fan, and I have warmed up to Gunther's style. I think he's a great heel for these times, and I think that what they're doing with him and his retirement, retiring wrestlers, and sort of always wanting to hold the gold, I think that's a pretty good character to have. And as a self-confirmed Cody Crybaby, I'm fine with seeing him not as the champion all the time. It doesn't matter to me. I know the stories go forward. So I personally feel like Cody should have lost tonight for story purposes. A lot of my complaints from what happened between WrestleMania and now are for story purposes. Not because I'm fanatically in love with one wrestler or another, but for just story purposes. I felt like Gunther should have won. If you're trying to build big bad guys, you need to give them wins to justify it. And I think with Gunther's character, he should have. Cody already has a win over him from Crown Jewel. There would have been no problem with Gunther learning from those mistakes and winning. So I feel like then they could go on. Cody could do a side quest. That's not title related. Let Gunther have a chance. And if they need Cody to be champion by SummerSlam, obviously you can make that happen. There's so many pay-per-views, PLEs, and special shows, Saturday Night's Main Events before we get to SummerSlam. They have more than enough time to give the belt back to Cody if they need to be doing that. So, but the match was great. In fact, all the matches on tonight's card were good to great. I felt like it was a very well put together show. I just have issues with the matches. And I think the biggest one I have issues with is the Jade Cargill-Rhea feud. I love both of them. In fact, I tend to gravitate more towards the women's wrestling these days than the men's because they have a little bit more together. However, I will say this. When the WrestleMania match between Jade and Rhea happened, under no circumstances did Rhea need to win the title. I know that the online hate towards Jade is off the charts. For some reason, fans do not like her at all. In a wrestling sense, in a human being sense, it seems like they hate her personally. She was the champion. She had, I think, 2 defenses in 60-something days, maybe more. Maybe less defenses in more days. A, they could have used that as part of her character going into the feud with Rhea. But by the time we get to WrestleMania, Rhea Ripley did not need to win. Rhea Ripley has had her WrestleMania moment, and she won against Charlotte at WrestleMania. So those two are in the bag for her. She doesn't need that on her resume. If you're building Jade, have her win over Rhea. The angle easily could have been that Rhea underestimated the cocky heel who never wrestled. You underestimate. That's your angle. Jade deserved to win for story purposes, for the feud to make sense. Once she is handed the pin, where's your incentive to go, and pinned cleanly, by the way, at WrestleMania? Where's the incentive to continue the feud? Like, what are you clinging on to? It just seems like they wanted to do it again. But it would have made more sense for a story for Jade to win. And then you have weeks of build-up about how you underestimated me. Then if you need Rhea to win, Rhea could have won at Backlash. She could have won on Saturday's main event. Or she could have won tonight. And if you turn it into 3 matches, she could win the third one also, if you needed to go that route. If you don't want the belt to go back and forth. But for this rematch, it really felt like Jade should have been the champion the whole time. And that one really bothers me more than any other matches that have happened post-WrestleMania. Then we get to Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. I loved how that transpired at WrestleMania. It had everything. It had the elevation of a new star. It had an insane WrestleMania moment. And it had a emotional send-off. Now, I don't know anything about the real transpiring of like a work, a shoot. I don't read a lot of that kind of stuff. I just like my shows. I like to be entertained. I like to keep the kayfabe sort of real, not it's real to me, damn it type of thing. But I felt like that just had everything. Then the minute you do part 2, okay, definitely intrigue. Definitely the fact that it was in Italy is nice. But then you get to this 7 F5s in a match. I thought it was too much. I like the physicality of the match. I like a lot of that. I just felt like you didn't need to do 7 F5s to Obafemi. I actually didn't want him to lose this soon into his rise, but that's what they wanted to do. We're probably going to get a third match, which is fine. Maybe Hell in a Cell or some kind of stipulation. Did not need to see 7 F5s. I just was like, no. And I'm not even get angry when you overuse finishers. I do get angry when people kick out of stuff over and over. But I thought 7 F5s was ridiculous. And but I liked the match. It went longer. I liked the destruction on the outside. I felt like there was some good stuff there. So I give the match a thumbs up. But I just think we could have gone with more wrestling and more hard hitting versus 7 F5s. But that's just me. But I'm 90% sure we're going to get a third match out of it. And hopefully Oba wins that and we move on with our lives. Then we have Sol Ruca versus Becky Lynch. And I thought this was fine. I liked the ascension of a new female star. I think Becky Lynch has done some of her best work as this heel. And I hope to God that she's never accused of not elevating talent. Now, I mentioned my fandom was from 1984. I never said that I took a break after around 2005. I think I got bored with the product at that time. And so for many years, I was also started having a family. So I didn't get back into it till just about COVID times. And I didn't like the empty arena stuff, so I kind of didn't watch that either. But I did start watching when I heard Roman with this crazy long title reign. So I got back into it a little bit, slowly but surely. And one of the first matches I saw, not kind of getting reacclimated to everything, was Tiffany Stratton in NXT, because Becky Lynch had gone there and captured the NXT women's title. They fought in a no-holds-barred, like, street fight type of match that I thought was awesome. In fact, I often cite it as the reason I got back into watching it on a somewhat regular basis. Because it felt like a real fight. It felt like two people were really trying to win a match. And I thought it was impressive that Becky was sort of lending her expertise to elevate Tiffany Stratton, who at the time I didn't know anything about her at all, other than she was a very attractive woman. And so I really enjoyed that match, and I really have appreciated how Becky has helped other talent elevating their career to Lyra Valkyria, even though that they choose not to do anything with this, but she went from not having any promo time, not talking, to having some damn fine matches. I wish they utilized her more. I wish they utilized Bayley more. But I was really looking forward to this. And it didn't disappoint. Sol Ruca, it was clear to the get-go that she was going to win, and that's fine. I love elevating a new star. It's great. It gives you a chance for her to be on TV and hone her skills and this, that, and the other. But what I'm dying for is a Jessica Carr-Becky match. They tease it, and I'm so waiting for it. I really thought WrestleMania would do it, because that's a perfect sort of WrestleMania fun, out of the ordinary thing. I don't want it to be just on a Monday Night Raw. I want it to be on a PLE of some sort. And they don't go as far as I would like to push it, because they don't get into like her really getting in Jessica Carr's face every minute. So I don't know if they're ever going to do it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see this dream of mine of like getting a referee to be in a wrestling match and just have fun with that. I thought this match was good. She hit the Soul Snatcher pretty well. I know that's been a point of contention these past few weeks. The match was good. Solid wrestling, solid moves, expected outcome. And then we get to main event, the tribal combat with Jacob Fatu versus Roman Reigns. Again, I am enjoying this incarnation of Roman where he's not using the bloodline to help him win. I know he's still like cheating and using tactics, but other people are not helping him get the win. I did grow tired of that when I got back into watching his matches. And this is another one of those things, these pet peeves that I have is if you're trying to elevate Jacob, he needed a win. He needed to win. Even if he were to put the title up again tomorrow in less than 24 hours and lose it back to Roman, you would be creating someone that's of championship caliber. And I really felt like they dropped the ball. I really felt like every match that had a title should have changed hands. I know it's considered a B-level pay-per-view or PLE, but man, that would have just added so much excitement, and you can't miss it, which in my opinion the WWE is lacking right now. It doesn't have that you can't miss it feel anymore. If you would have had any of these champions or all of these champions lose their belts in one night, A, it goes in the history books, and B, you're creating and elevating more stars to be big. Like, how is Gunther going to be believable if, I guess it all depends on what goes on tomorrow or Friday. But they need to elevate Jacob to be a serious contender so that when he goes against whoever next, you know that it's on. Like, you know, you can be like, oh, this is going to be good, or at least give off the impression that it could be good because he's a former world champion, even if he only held it for a day. He beat Roman Reigns. Like, that's what they needed. That's my thoughts on this PLE. I thought it was good. It was way better than Backlash was, although I did like a lot of Backlash. And in all honesty, Monday Night Raw and SmackDown do not have that must-see, you might miss something monumental type aspect to it. So in my defense, I don't watch every single week. A lot of times I watch the YouTube highlights that they put on after the shows air. which is very telling because a lot of times it's less than 15 minutes of what WWE feels are highlights. Anyway, I rambled on. Again, this is my first time making a video like this about something I just watched. Please comment, like, subscribe if you've enjoyed this. I don't know if I'll keep doing these. I don't know if I love them. I don't know if people care. Everybody has an opinion on this. And you know what they say about opinions. So I don't know if it's something that I would continue doing because I'm an outlier in terms of I don't trash the product. But this one, from WrestleMania to this, I just had these thoughts that something needs to shake up. And these are people that I like. Cody, Rhea, Roman. Like, I like watching them. But I felt like a shake-up was needed to give them more meat in their characters and stories. And that in that respect, it didn't deliver. But the overall action in the ring, perfect. I liked it. I thought the Jade match against Rhea was great. When she went from the Riptide into DDT Rhea, stellar. I know there's so much good stuff there. I wish in a different world that Jade was not getting trounced on online about her skills. I feel like her skills are like unbelievable, and she's really stepped it up in her last 2 matches with Rhea. Now she needs to go on to fight other people besides Rhea, and we need to get that going. But that's it. I'm not going to give a whole overview of what I don't like about WWE because there's plenty of that online. I just want to give my thoughts on this PLE and why I was so passionate about things that have happened from WrestleMania now. So again, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it so much. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit that like, please hit that subscribe, please share this video, and let me know in the comments below. Do you want my thoughts about more wrestling PLEs, or do you just not care? Either way, I won't be offended. This is sort of out of the blue. I just thought I'd try this one time. But I'll get back to my action figure reviews very shortly. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Hope to catch you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye-bye.